Radical Islam is a complex topic. I certainly am not an expert on it. And when you get into any debate about religion, it can be extremely difficult. So, and quite frankly, nowadays you'll see in some of the documentation in the government that we move from a global war on terrorism to a war on extremism, excessive radicalization, phrases like that, try to get away from just using the term Islam. And that's very true, and it's an important differentiation to make because there have been radical terrorists of all shapes, sizes, and colors. But there will be some aspects of it that we'll go ahead and take a look at. The financing of terrorism uh, is very, very important because of where we're going, and it's related to what we bring about in lesson 3, where we talk about narco-terrorism. One, is it terrorism? Is it criminality? Is it a combination of the both? And the importance of the financing that's taking place not only in South and Central America, but also in Afghanistan right now. So the financing of terrorism, narco-terrorism are related, and we'll take a look at that. And we have some video for you to hook into to hear one of the experts talk about financing terrorism. Constitutional and legal matters is also something, whether you're dealing with the right of habeas corpus, people in Gitmo, are they really subject to U.S. law, the whole aspect of military tribunals. We will address those issues as a matter of policy and some of the legal concerns. But it's certainly an issue that we've been, as a government, criticized for. But at the same time, even if you look, if you're not a supporter of the previous administration, if you look at their efforts for just about everything they did, whether it's in interrogation or in Gitmo, they were seeking legal advice all along the way. And what you come to the conclusion is the law is the law and is meant to be interpreted. And oftentimes it is, especially in an era of concerns for national security. What was acceptable shortly after 9/11 in 2001, 2, and 3, now that you look back at it and you don't have that emotional aspect, that fear, the need to protect your country as strongly, and perhaps a long-term war going on in Afghanistan and Iraq that's starting to lose public interest when people are concerned about health care and budget deficits, then you tend to be a little more legalistic, and the emotionalism of security fades. But this is an issue that is constantly facing us, and you can look what happened after 9/11, and you can contrast it to what happened after Pearl Harbor and the actions with the Japanese as well. So when a threat to security is high, there's a lot about, you know, maybe a little more leeway, looser interpretation of law that takes place. Now we're in an analytical phase looking back, and it was also during a political run-up to an election where a lot of statements were made about what was done in the past, and then you find a new president comes in, and he finds out that there are legal reasons why certain actions took place, and it's not all that easy to change them. Lastly, we'll look at organizing to combat terrorism. How's the government structured? Is the apparatus that we have in place right now something that really is sufficient? There are concerns by some that the terrorist groups are really mini non-state networks, and yet we have a huge bureaucracy trying to counter it. And there's some debate now, quite frankly, about what's going on in Afghanistan. Is this really a terrorism battle? Is it a battle of counterinsurgency? Is it a battle to stabilize an area of the globe? So once again, immediately post 9/11 to now, the environment, the external environment, what's going on in Pakistan, certainly what's happening in Afghanistan, all that has added a certain complexity to the situation. So that's the outline for the course as we have set forth here. I hope it turns out to be a beneficial experience for everybody. There'll be, within the next few days, some clarifications out concerning communication and discussion groups. But please, at least mentally, take a look at what's going on as far as the questions for lesson one, terrorism is, and be thinking about them, not necessarily emailing and responding for a couple of days. Also, people are always concerned about a research paper. This is a graduate level course. It is an accredited course, and because of that, we have to have some academic rigor. So your paper is important. I tried to lay out some standards in there about the research paper, and you may have some questions, but this is an effort, and it'll probably represent about 60% of your grade. And the last week of the course, where I have down review, there are no readings, etc. So that gives you a cushion for those whose time management is like my own, less than sterling, to cram and get the effort done. But it is a research paper, you know, going out to sources, reviewing, expanding your knowledge, etc. is really one of the goals. And this is, you should be taking these courses to expand your knowledge. There may be some requirement for PME or to get to the next level. All that is fine. I mean, I was a student at the Naval War College, even as an Air Force guy, probably part of affirmative action. But anyhow, you know, the main thing I think, and having taught there for 8 years, is to come away and learn something that you didn't know in the past. Whether you do that as a B or an A, in the scheme of things, is not all that significant. The fact that you make an effort and do your best is. So anyhow, I just wanted to give this introduction, and hope that over the next several weeks into the early year, that next year rather, that we come together and learn from each other. It's online, but it's still a seminar, and the seminar is shared learning. So I look forward to working with you and getting to know you a little bit as best we can through the internet, and we'll go from there. So thank you, good luck, and I hope that I can upload this thing. I'll follow the instructions. I've practiced once or twice, but we'll see. One never knows. All right, you take care now. Bye-bye.